Chapter 11. Sharing the roadway with other users. Traffic is made up of all types of people and vehicles using the highway system to travel from one place to another. If we all share the responsibility for this system, it will operate more safely and efficiently. Single vehicle crashes account for more than 50% of all motor vehicle occupant fatalities. However, most collisions occur when two or more objects try to occupy the same space at the same time. As a driver, you must learn to look for movements that could lead to conflict. You must judge the chance of two objects closing on each other. Knowing how others commit errors will help you to better evaluate and execute actions to reduce risk. Closing probability and movements. Definition of closing probability. The chance that a vehicle and another object will move closer together as they move along a projected path of travel is called closing probability. You can detect closing movements successfully if you know what to look for. Most pedestrians and animals enter your path from the front or side. Conflicts with vehicles include potential for side, front, and rear end collisions. 5 common traffic conflict situations. Number 1, oncoming vehicles. Oncoming vehicles may cross the center line or move into your lane. They may pull into your path while turning or passing another vehicle. Even on freeways, vehicles can cross medians or jump guardrails, resulting in side angle or head-on collisions. Number 2, merging and exiting vehicles. Entering, exiting, and merging vehicles typically close in on your path at an angle from the side. Generally, these vehicles are either slowing or accelerating from a stop. They may also change lanes. They may also be changing lanes or merging from a parked position along the side of the roadway. On freeways, vehicles merge from ramps and acceleration lanes. Cars or trucks with wide loads can sideswipe your vehicle while passing or being passed. Number 3, cars ahead of you. Vehicles ahead of you traveling in the same direction can suddenly increase your level of risk in two ways. Either the driver of the vehicle ahead may stop suddenly or swerve, or the driver of a vehicle in an adjacent lane may suddenly swerve into your lane. Either driver may be avoiding a vehicle or object in the road or experiencing mechanical failure that causes loss of control. In either event, a collision could result. Number 4, vehicles behind you. Vehicles following too closely could crash into the rear of your vehicle if you stop suddenly, a serious problem that is even more likely to occur at night. Drivers who follow too closely cause more than 2 million rear end collisions annually. Number 5, intersecting vehicles and pedestrians. Intersecting traffic can be a serious threat. Crashes occur at intersections frequently when drivers run red lights or fail to obey stop signs. Pedestrians, bicycles, or animals can also suddenly dart into your roadway along your path of travel. You must learn to identify the actions of others that can increase closing probability. Searching for clues to closing actions. In each of the preceding situations, you must learn to identify the actions of others that can increase closing probability. Drivers may change speed, direction, or both. Also watch for any stopped vehicle. The driver may be preparing to back up. Evaluating actions. In most situations, only one or two of these actions would result in someone or something closing in on your path of travel at any one time. In the case of an oncoming car, you must judge whether the driver would turn left or veer into your path. You will need to judge whether the driver of a vehicle traveling in front of you will gradually decrease speed or brake suddenly. Will a vehicle reach an intersection at the same time as you? Will a following vehicle be able to stop quickly if you do? Will a vehicle parked along the road suddenly pull out and accelerate into your path? The key question is, what action might the other driver take that could increase the probability of closing? Anticipating errors. Human error. Few collisions occur that do not involve human error. If you know what types of errors to expect, you will make fewer mistakes and be able to avoid those other road users. Typical errors drivers make include: number one, visual vision errors. Drivers fail to check rearview mirrors or blind areas. Drivers allow vision to be diverted from the path of travel, such as while reading billboards, talking with passengers, smoking, eating, talking on a cellular phone, or text messaging. Driver allows vision to be blocked, such as by large signs, ice, snow, dirt, packages, or other obstructions inside the vehicle. Driver does not establish eye contact with other drivers as potential conflict situations develop. Number two, failure to yield right of way. Driver does not obey stop sign or yield signs. Driver runs red lights. Driver does not yield to vehicle on right. Number three, improper speed adjustment. Driver approaches stop or yield signs too fast. Driver approaches turns too fast. Driver drives through turns too fast. Driver does not adjust speed to compensate for reduced visibility, space, or traction. Number four, poor judgment of distance or space requirements. Driver tailgates other vehicles. Driver swings wide or turns too sharply. Driver passes or overtakes improperly. Driver selects improper lane or position for a turn. Number five, inadequate or improper vehicle control. Driver brakes suddenly or steers too quickly on slippery surfaces. Driver recovers poorly from a turn. Driver uses improper seating position when driving. Number six, improper signals. Driver does not signal when changing lanes or turning. Driver improperly uses four-way emergency flashers. Driver gives a false signal. Communication. Definition of communication. Communication is an exchange of information. It involves sending and receiving information. As a sender, you must choose the best method and time to send a message. As a receiver, you must be able to receive and understand messages sent by others. Too many drivers assume that just because they see and signal another driver or pedestrian, they are seen and understood. Four common messages. Number one, intentions. I plan to turn left or right. I am turning here. I am slowing. I want to pass. Please move over. I want to back up. Two, warning. I must stop suddenly. There is danger in your lane. Your lights are blinding me. Number three, presence. I am over here. Do you see me? I am parked. Number four, feedback. I see you. I get the message. Go ahead. I will stay put. Thanks for helping me. Methods of communicating. Drivers use signaling devices to send most messages. Lights signal change of direction. The horn sounds warnings. However, communication is performed, it should involve eye-to-eye contact for best results. Here are some methods to use. Electric signals, turn signal lights, brake lights, backup lights, four-way emergency flashers. Number two, horn. quick taps, sharp blast, blasting blast. Number 3, headlights, flash on and off, switch from low beam to high beam and back. Number 4, body actions, hand signals, nodding, smiling, looking puzzled or confused. Number 5, vehicle position, lane choice, position within lane, drifting movement. Pedestrians. Pedestrians often take chances. Keep in mind that many people have never driven a motor vehicle. Thus, pedestrians, especially children and elderly people, often do not know what a driver can or cannot do with a motor vehicle. Because of this, they take chances that cause serious problems. Responsibility for pedestrian safety. Motorists have a legal and moral responsibility to take every precaution to avoid hitting pedestrians. Never assume anything about a pedestrian, young or old. Most pedestrians overestimate their visibility to drivers. Allow as much or more time and space as you would for a motor vehicle or bicycle. Do your part. When you wait for a traffic signal at an intersection, be sure to stop behind the stop line or crosswalk. Avoid jumping the gun when the light turns green. Always allow pedestrians to finish crossing your lane before you accelerate. When you turn at intersections where there are signals, be alert for crossing pedestrians. Be alert to pedestrian traffic when you make a right turn on red, which requires drivers to stop and yield the right-of-way to cross traffic and pedestrians in either crosswalk. High-risk pedestrian areas. Watch for pedestrians at school zones, parks, playgrounds, bus stops, parking lots, college campuses, intersections, and mid-block crossings. Be alert to pedestrians wearing headphones or earbuds or talking on a cell phone. They may or may not hear your vehicle or be aware of your presence. Driving in shopping centers also demands particular care because people carrying packages are not always attentive. Be especially watchful for children playing in residential areas. When children are present. The unexpected behavior of young children can pose a serious problem. Children under the age of 6 are particularly apt to dart into the street without stopping or looking. In many subdivisions, the problem is compounded by the absence of sidewalks. Overcoming dangers posed by children. To overcome risk associated with young children, you must develop proper visual habits, particularly ground viewing, searching for movement or shadows under and around parked vehicles. Be alert for children walking, running, playing games, or riding bicycles. The presence of pets should alert you to the possibility of children in the area. Children may also be attracted to construction sites or vacant lots. Inattentive pedestrians. In residential or suburban areas, adult pedestrians who frequently cross in the middle of the block may present problems. Watch for meter readers, postal employees, delivery persons, utility workers, and trash collectors. They may also wander into your path while concentrating on their jobs. Other pedestrians may step into the street while mowing their lawns or sweeping the sidewalks. Pedestrians in parking lots before and after an event are likely not to pay close attention to vehicle traffic. Also, when it is raining, snowing, or foggy, it may be difficult to see pedestrians because of umbrellas, hoods, hats. They may not see you. Pedestrians might take extra risk when it is raining, so be prepared. Alcohol and other drugs. Alcohol and other drugs also contribute to collisions with adult pedestrians. Time of day, location, and behavior can provide clues about whether a pedestrian is affected by alcohol. Time space gap needs. Like drivers, pedestrians must learn to judge gaps in traffic. For example, the typical young adult can cross a two-lane street in about 4 to 6 seconds. In contrast, Elderly people and children may need 7 to 10 seconds to cross the same street. This information should help you adjust your speed accordingly to minimize risk. Emergency vehicles. Emergency vehicles. Give room to emergency vehicles such as ambulances, fire trucks, and police vehicles. These vehicles frequently travel at high speeds and can swerve suddenly. Anytime you hear a siren or see red flashing lights or blue lights, pull over as far as possible and stop. Even when you are on a divided highway, move out of the intersection before pulling over. An emergency vehicle sometimes drives on the wrong side of the road when its path becomes blocked. Large trucks. Drivers of large trucks have very limited visibility, and the trucks have large blind areas around them. Do not assume that a truck driver can see you. Avoid traveling alongside or close behind the truck. When a truck is backing, do not pass behind it. The driver may not see you or hear your horn. A large truck turning right sometimes swings wide so the trailer can clear the curb or other objects in its path. In swinging wide, the truck may move to the left before turning right, or swing into the oncoming traffic lane after a turn. It is important to provide trucks ample room to negotiate turns. Do not pass on the right. You could cause a collision. Because of their size, large trucks create wind currents that can affect nearby vehicles. These currents can threaten your vehicle's stability when you are close. This is an even greater problem when you are riding a motorcycle or towing a trailer or other object. Be sure to allow plenty of clearance between your vehicle and large trucks. Motorcycles and scooters. Give motorcycles and scooters as much space as you would a vehicle. When you pass a motorcycle or any other two-wheeled vehicle, give the rider the whole lane. Do not try to squeeze into the same lane. Motorcycles are narrower and harder to see than other vehicles. Keep in mind that riders of two-wheeled vehicles do not have the same occupant protection that you have in your vehicle. If involved in a collision, they are subject to a higher risk of injury. Motorcycles and scooters can generally stop in a shorter distance, so increase your following distance when driving behind one of these vehicles. A motorcyclist or scooter rider will respond to highway hazards differently than other drivers. An object in the road that is not a problem for a passenger vehicle may require evasive action by the rider. The surface of the roadway may prompt the motorcyclist or scooter rider to reduce speed. It is important to be aware of how traction affects all other vehicles sharing the road, not just your own vehicle. Bicycles. Bicycle riders increasing. The number of bicycles on the road continue to rise as more adults use bicycles for transportation and recreation. In addition, child riders present the same dangers as child pedestrians. Unfortunately, parents too often permit their children to ride bicycles on the street when they are too young and lack the necessary training to accurately assess the risk. That is why it is critical for drivers to be very cautious around children, whether they are riding a bicycle or walking as a pedestrian. Bicycles demand increased awareness. Several clues should alert you to the special problems of bicycles. The style of and equipment on a bicycle can provide some information. A small child on an oversized bike is more likely to behave erratically. Bicycles have limited maneuverability, so you should be aware of and make adjustments for roadway conditions hazardous to bicycles. For example, railroad crossings, potholes, or gravel on the roadway require major adjustments by bicyclists. Steel bars or grating on storm drains can also be a serious hazard. Expect bicyclists to steer around these and other objects. Bicyclists are hard to see in traffic. Bicyclists riding in a stream of traffic often are difficult to see. Consequently, you must build into your visual search a special awareness of bicycles and factors that could influence their path of travel. In addition, you must allow bicyclists more time and space to respond. Animals, pets. Pets present special problems to drivers because of their size and quick movements. Dogs and cats may dart into the roadway when least expected. Drivers may swerve or brake hard in an attempt to avoid hitting these animals. Although no one would want to hurt someone's pet, your safety and the safety of other motorists is more important. Concentrate on slowing down and maintaining directional stability. Aggressive turning maneuvers could result in a dangerous off-road situation, where the chance of injury to you and your passengers increases dramatically. In rural and forested regions, wild animals are more of a serious traffic problem than most people realize. Each year, collisions with wild animals kill approximately 160 people and injure thousands more. It is estimated that 1.5 million deer alone killed annually in the U.S. by motor vehicles. Wild animals on the roadway are unexpected and their actions are erratic and unpredictable. The size of wild animals varies from as small as a squirrel to as large as a moose. Be alert for wild animals at all times and be especially careful at dusk, dawn, and nighttime when they are likely to be near the road and hard to see. Horse-drawn vehicles. Special attention needs to be given to animal-drawn wagons or horseback riders on or near the roadway. A sudden noise or movement may cause an animal to shy or bolt. Your best response is to adjust speed and increase your space margin. If you think the horn will be helpful, tap it quickly so you do not frighten the animal, but use it well before you approach the animal and rider. Intersections. Intersections create hazards. Controlled access highways have special ramps that allow entry and exit. All other roadways intersect with crossroads and private driveways to form intersections. Intersections allow cars or pedestrians to cut across the driver's pathway at various angles. A safe approach. Whenever you drive in the city, on a highway, or in an urban area, the safe way to approach an intersection is the same. Be in the correct position in the proper lane. As you approach the intersection, adjust your speed to allow more time to search the area and to smoothly stop if necessary. Remember, many people do not stop for signs and red lights. Also remember that other drivers can see you more easily when you drive with your low beam headlights on during the daytime. Search patterns. Intersections may differ in design and type of controls, requiring different search patterns. As you approach intersections, search all areas and be aware of blocked lines of sight. Search all four control devices and curb shape. The shape and sharpness of the curb will provide clues to spacing problems. Safe gap. Once you reach the intersection, you will need to decide when it is safe to start across or turn. To do this, you will have to judge a safe gap in traffic. A gap in traffic is the distance of time between the back of one vehicle and the front of the next vehicle in line. The size of the gap needed depends upon the time required to cross the intersection or turn. Correct distances and times. From a stop, you need about 4 seconds to cross an intersection 30 feet wide. You should wait for a gap of at least you should wait for a gap of at least 6 seconds to ensure you can cross without interrupting traffic. As the width of a street increases, the size of the gap must be increased. Use the counting method, 1 1000, 2 1000, etc., to judge correct distances and times. Turning at intersections. Number 1, depending on the direction you wish to go, turn from the far left or far right lane of traffic moving legally in your direction. Number 2, unless otherwise indicated, enter the first traffic lane that goes in the direction you want to go. And number 3, where turns are permitted from more than one lane, turn into the lane corresponding to the lane you turn from. Judging a safe gap. Once you complete a turn, you must accelerate to the speed of traffic. As a result, right and left turns take longer than simply crossing an intersection. In urban areas, you need a time gap of about 8 to 9 seconds to turn right onto a street when traffic is moving at 30 miles per hour. Increase this time to 11 seconds for a left turn. To turn right onto an open highway with traffic moving at 55 miles per hour, you will need a gap of 11 seconds or more. Allow about 14 seconds for a left turn on the same highway. Time and space management. Effective time and space management is critical to avoiding collisions at intersections. Timed distances provide an efficient way to judge safe gaps in traffic. With practice, you can easily judge distances without having to count. However, should the need arise, you will have a method for checking how much time you will need. Railroad crossings. Always expect a train is a sound rule to follow when approaching a highway rail grade crossing. A typical locomotive weighs approximately 200 tons. Add 100 rail cars to the locomotive, and the train can weigh approximately 6,000 tons. The weight ratio of a train to an automobile is about 4,000 to 1 and is proportional to an automobile and a soda can. Trains have only one way to go, on the tracks. Trains cannot swerve and can take a mile or more to stop. Pay attention to signs, gates, and warning lights at crossings. Use common sense at all times. How can you drive over a railroad crossing safely? Despite warning signs, crossing gates, and signals, many collisions occur at highway rail crossings each year. Among the crash causes are driver impatience, driver inattention, and error in judgments. Never drive over a railroad crossing when a train is approaching. The consequences could be fatal. An approaching train can create an illusion that it is moving slower than you think. Modern trains are quieter than ever, with no telltale crackety crack noise. Remaining patient, paying attention, and exercising sound judgment can help prevent you from colliding with a train. Determine when it is safe to cross. Scanning and searching in both directions will help you safely cross railroad tracks. Here are some basic rules to help you determine when it is safe to cross. Number 1. Slow down when approaching a highway rail grade crossing. If gates are down or warning lights are flashing, stop and wait until the gates go up and the warning lights stop flashing. Never rely solely on mechanical warning equipment. Take the time to look and listen for an approaching train. Number 2. Stop no closer than 15 feet from a railroad crossing when a train is approaching. If the crossing is equipped with flashing red lights and they are activated, do not attempt to cross the tracks. Number 3. If the crossing is not equipped with flashing lights or crossing gates, then use extra caution. Remember, a train could approach at any time. Slow down, look, listen, and if there is no train in sight, proceed to cross the tracks quickly and safely without stopping. Number 4, always wait for the vehicle ahead of you to clear the tracks before you start across. To avoid being trapped at a crossing, never stop on or near the railroad tracks. Be sure to have at least 15 feet between the rear of your vehicle and the tracks on the other side. Number 5, after a train has passed, check in both directions to see that no other trains are coming. Be careful, a second train could be behind the first or coming from the opposite direction on an adjacent track. Stay alert. Even if you cross a set of railroad tracks every day at about the same time, do not take familiar crossings for granted. Do not assume the track is clear. Freight trains do not follow set schedules. Trains can run after hours as well as during scheduled service times. Never attempt to beat a train. Stalled vehicles. Never stop your vehicle on railroad tracks for any reason whatsoever. This is a good way to lose your vehicle and possibly your life. In the rare event that your vehicle stalls on the tracks, do not panic. Immediately check in both directions for approaching trains. Get everyone out of the vehicle and a safe distance away from the tracks. Ensure that you and your occupants will not be in the path of flying debris should a train approach and collide with the vehicle. Call the emergency number that is posted on the crossbuck mast or near the crossing. Local law enforcement or 911. Provide the operator with a 6-digit number and letter that identify the crossing. This number is unique to that crossing and may be located on the crossbuck, mast, fence, or electrical box. That way, the railroad will know exactly which crossing is blocked, and an oncoming train may be stopped by the dispatcher. Returning to your stalled vehicles could be dangerous and deadly. Trains can approach from any direction on any tracks at any time. Interchanges. Definition. Highway interchanges connect intersecting sections of roadways. Common on expressways and interstates, interchanges consist of overpasses, underpasses, loops, and ramps. Limited access eliminates many hazards by crossing over or under the traffic on other highways. Unlike intersections, interchanges permit vehicles to change from one roadway to another without crossing in front of other traffic. Drivers adjust speed as necessary and merge into and out of moving traffic. Types of interchanges. There are several types of interchanges. The cloverleaf and diamond are the most common. Most interchange configurations are variations of these designs. On freeways or expressways, you normally will enter and exit from the right lane. Sometimes you will enter or exit from the extreme left or high speed lane. Therefore, you must read the signs and select the proper lane well in advance. Lanes and ramps. Interchanges consist of through lanes, ramps, and speed change lanes. Entrance or exit ramps usually are designed for speeds of 25 to 45 miles per hour. Speed change lanes alongside the main travel lanes are special highway lanes that allow a vehicle to reduce speed, to exit, or increase speed for merging. Speed change lanes are also called deceleration and acceleration lanes. Merging. When you enter an expressway from a ramp, you will merge into high-speed traffic. Merging is a coming together or blending of vehicles to maintain a smooth, uninterrupted traffic flow. As they merge, drivers already on and those entering the highway need to adjust speed and position to avoid collisions. Both the drivers on the expressway and the drivers on the ramp have a responsibility to cooperate with each other. Some jurisdictions use metered ramps, which use signal lights to control the rate at which vehicles enter the expressway. Steps to follow for merging. Number one, while on the entrance ramp, search a through lane for a safe gap in traffic. A gap of at least 4 seconds is desirable. Note the length of the acceleration lane ahead. Number two, maintain a proper space margin from cars that are on the ramp with you. Continue searching ahead and in the direction you intend to merge. Three, as you near the acceleration lane, signal and accelerate to the speed of traffic. Number four, keep checking for a gap and any following vehicles. Number five, adjust speed near the end of the ramp or at the beginning of the acceleration lane. You want to be traveling at a speed that matches that of adjacent traffic before you merge from the acceleration lane into the rightmost lane of travel. This helps you avoid having to adjust speed while steering into the travel lane. And six, pull into the selected gap and cancel the turn signal. Leaving the expressway. Select the proper lane to leave an expressway well before you approach your exit. Signal and steer into the deceleration lane as soon as you reach it and reduce speed. If the deceleration lane does not allow for enough space to reduce speed, signal your intention and reduce speed only as much as needed to safely exit the expressway. Ramp speeds. Posted exit ramp speeds usually are low because of roadway design. It is dangerous to drive onto an exit ramp at expressway speed. After driving at high speed for many miles, you may be going too fast to exit, even though you think you have slowed enough. Some exits that have extreme ramp designs are posted for speeds as low as 5 miles per hour. Speed change, weave lanes. At many intersections, the speed change lane is used as both an acceleration and deceleration lane. This situation requires a weaving pattern movement. Since vehicles must cross one another's paths, entering or exiting traffic requires skillful use of time and space. A spirit of cooperation is needed among all drivers involved in negotiating weave lanes in heavy traffic. Although right-of-way usually should be granted to exiting traffic, conditions may dictate otherwise. Older interchanges and expressways. Some interchanges on older expressways have short acceleration lanes. Sometimes interchanges like this could include signs that read "Yield ahead" or "No merge area." In rare instances, there might be a stop sign that assigns right of way at the end of the entrance ramp. In these situations, you must yield to traffic on the expressway. You will need a much larger gap in expressway traffic to accelerate from a very slow speed or from a stopped position. Passing other vehicles. Three questions. When considering passing another vehicle, you must ask yourself three questions, and the answer to each question must be yes in order to justify passing. Number one, is it legal? Two, is passing safe? And three, is passing worth it? Only very rarely can a driver honestly answer all three questions with a resounding yes. Two dangers. Two dangers face the driver who wants to pass: impatience and errors in judgment. Passing calls for critical application of time and space rules. Failure to apply these rules results in thousands of deaths annually from head-on crashes. When is it legal to pass? You may not pass when approaching cars are too close, nor may you pass when a solid yellow line is on your side of the center line, or when a sign indicates a no passing zone. Usually, it is illegal to pass on two-lane roads when approaching a hill crest, curve, or intersection. Most states also prohibit passing on bridges, in tunnels, near railroad crossings, or when traffic is limited to one lane in each direction. It is also illegal to exceed the speed limit even when you pass another vehicle. When is it safe to pass? This question is difficult to answer. You must ask yourself several questions before you try to pass. Is the road ahead clear? How far away is the approaching vehicle? Can I see far enough ahead? How long will it take to pass and get back into my lane? Can I make the driver of the vehicle I am passing? I am planning to pass aware that I'm passing? Is there an intersecting road or driveway that may allow vehicles to enter before I complete my pass? Am I am I being passed or about to be? When is it worth it to pass? Very rarely is it worth it to pass. As strong as the temptation might be to pass might be, usually what happens after one vehicle passes another on a two-lane road is that the two vehicles simply trade places. More often than not, at the next place where stopping is required, as at an intersection, the vehicle that was passed ends up directly behind the vehicle that passed. Passing on a two-lane road is one of the riskiest driving maneuvers there is, and usually there is very little, if any, benefit realized compared to the risk involved. Use low beams when passing. Driving with your low beam headlights on can reduce the level of risk when you are passing. You will be much more visible to other roadway users. Recommended steps for passing another vehicle. Number 1. Prepare to pass. Position yourself approximately 3 seconds behind the vehicle you want to pass. Check for roadside obstacles and areas of reduced space and visibility ahead. Check mirrors and oncoming traffic. Be prepared to wait for an adequate clear distance. At 60 miles per hour, you will need at least 19 seconds to pass a vehicle that is traveling at 50 miles per hour. An effective way to judge this gap is to pass only when a vehicle in the oncoming lane appears to be standing still. Check ahead for a safe passing distance. Assume that you are traveling 60 miles per hour, approaching a vehicle traveling 50 miles per hour. You are moving approximately 88 feet per second, which is 15 feet per second faster than the vehicle you are overtaking. If you start your pass 2 seconds, 176 feet behind the vehicle ahead, it will take you 12 seconds to catch up. You need another second to come parallel with the vehicle you want to pass. To pull safely back into your lane, check to see that the front of the vehicle you have passed is visible in your inside rearview mirror, a distance of about 1 second, or 88 feet. It will take you about 6 seconds to gain this distance. By now, you will have been in the passing maneuver for a total of 19 seconds. During those 19 seconds, you have traveled a total distance of 1,672 feet. A vehicle approaching from the opposite direction at 60 miles per hour will also have traveled 1,672 feet. Thus, allow a distance of 3,520 feet, more than a half mile, between you and any oncoming vehicle at the time you begin this pass. Another oncoming vehicle will not be visible to you during the day until it is about 2,500 feet away. If the same vehicle had its headlights turned on, it would be visible to you from about 4,700 feet. If you were to complete this pass in 10 seconds, you would have to increase your speed from 60 to 70 miles per hour. If the vehicle was long, like a tractor trailer, you need about 24 seconds to complete this pass at 60 miles per hour. This also assumes that the other driver maintained a steady 50 miles per hour while you were passing. D. Signal your intention. Use your turn signal and tap your horn or flash your lights. Check your blind spots to your side and rear. Number 2. Pass the vehicle ahead. Signal your intention and accelerate into the passing lane. Check the path ahead, identify an escape path. Accelerate quickly to an appropriate speed, 10 to 20 miles an hour faster than the vehicle you are passing. Remember, if you accelerate to a speed beyond the posted speed limit, you are breaking the law. If you had to accelerate beyond the speed limit to safely pass, the pass was not necessary. Concentrate on the path ahead. Use peripheral vision to monitor the position of the vehicle you passed and the left shoulder of the road. Glance quickly at the front wheels of the vehicle you are passing for any clues of possible movement to the side. Check your mirrors for following cars. Number 3. Return to your lane. Check your rearview mirror for the front of the vehicle you are passing. Signal your intention to move to the right. Change lanes and maintain speed. Cancel your signal, check your speedometer, and adjust your speed as needed.